So a quick dive into the numbers. 2021, over 33 million Americans have departed their employment. Also in France and United Kingdom, to get some European statistics, tens of millions of Indians also. So it's a global issue, that's for sure. And even if they interview people nowadays, when the peak is already a bit over on the Great Resignation, 40% of workers is still considering to leave their job. Is that in alignment, those numbers, with what you lived at Amazon? Can you share a bit on that?
Yeah, I think these numbers should resonate with most of the individuals, who are on this call and so on, because I think what we are seeing is that, at least I think since pandemic, some of these trends, usually we see trends like these, where like one country has recession, but other countries don't, where one country has inflation, other countries don't, where there's a demand and supply problem in one continent and not the other. That is different now. I think now what your numbers are showing are very relevant, because it shows that the challenges that are out there are not specific to Europe or to the US. They're really global challenges, whether it is, I think, concerns about recession, high inflation. I think the Great Resignation happened across the board. It wasn't kind of one industry, or it wasn't kind of one factor or one location. I think there is still people who are trying to really figure out the why behind the resignation. I know we have data scientists who are analyzing data constantly to really figure out what were the exact factors. In some cases, we're finding out there were absolutely just no reason other than people just wanted to take a break. But I think in most cases, you're right. It is a challenge that has happened across the board. But I think I'm more like focusing, now towards next year, right? This year is almost over. And I've been telling my team the same thing. This is a good time, rather than to look back, but really figure out what should be our vision, our goals and plans and strategies for next year. And I think I'm finding out, when I talk to my peers, both within Amazon and in the industry, people are really hesitant to really move towards their game plan for next year. And I think I know why, because I think it's really difficult to forecast, right? I mean, you look at these numbers and you see like some of the trends that happened, let's say like in France and UK, you see the rate where people were moving from job to job between October and December of 2021. That trend continued this year, but not throughout the year. It was like in the first half of 2022. And now we're seeing kind of a whole different shift, where it's not necessarily about individuals who are concerned about, or thinking about moving, but also I think back in 2021 and even the first half of 2022, and even right now, there are so many opportunities that people had flexibility, and they could kind of pick and choose and kind of say, okay, you know what? I'm dissatisfied with my workplace. I'm dissatisfied with the policies. Maybe I'm not feeling included enough. So I'm going to try something different. But I think as we move more towards kind of these challenging hiring market, that seems to be the case in the near future, I think some of this may get balanced out. Only time will tell. That's the fascinating part. It's really difficult to predict what the next few months will look like.
Yeah. Can you share a bit? You shared that Amazon is doing their own research on the causes. Can you share a bit on that, how you research it, and maybe some other causes that than what you normally see in literature? I don't know if they are, or if you found them.
Yeah, I think I'll just give you kind of like a high level of how we do things. So we have a daily pulse survey that goes out to all employees. So, the first thing when I turn on my computer in the morning and I log in, I have a pulse question. And these questions are being created and validated by really data scientists who are coming up with these questions. And it's the same question that goes to all employees, for that specific day. And I think over the last few months, those questions, and sometimes you repeat those questions just in different ways, right?
Yeah.
So that you can really get the true root causes. And many of the questions are really focused around, some of the trends that you're seeing in the marketplace, about uncertainty, like job satisfaction. Are you thinking of looking for another job, maybe internally or externally? Are you feeling included? Do you want to work remotely? Do you want to come back to the office? And I think what we're doing is it's not just random daily question and you just respond and then nothing happens. There are actually really smart people, much smarter than I am, who are really analyzing this data, sharing that data and the analysis with the leadership so that we can make HR policies and leadership policies based on that scientific data. So not just look at external market intelligence, but also do our own intelligence and then bring that data together to make really objective decisions for our employees and candidates as well.